Okay, so we had about 15 people registering
Okay.
for the webinar. So let's see how many will show up.
It's always a mystery.
Yes.
My noise
I'm
levels.
going to kick it off, then I'll pass it to you. Then after you're done, pass it.
Sorry, what was that saying?
I said I'm going to kick it off, then I'll pass it to you. Then after you're done, pass it back to me and I'll close it.
Okay.
Hi everyone. Hi. Welcome to our webinar. This webinar we have Ginger Allen. She's going to tell more about herself and why she's the right person to listen to for this topic. So we are going to wait a few more minutes for other participants to join, and then when everyone is here, we can kick it off. I hope you have had a great day so far, and we'll see how this one goes, this webinar. So, Ginger, when I'm done with my own presentation, then I think you should be able to share your screen.
Okay.
And then when you share, then I'll go quiet. I'll be silent in the background. But if you need me, you can just call my name. I'll
Okay.
be around to join. I am going to respond to some text messages now that they are asking about the webinar. See. Hi, everyone. Hi. There are some people here waiting for the webinar to get started. So just give us a few more minutes. We're going to start the webinar. See who's not, someone's note taker is here. Is that your note taker, Ginger?
Could be, yes. Fireflies.
Okay. I'll just deny. Okay. Welcome, everyone. I'm just waiting for maybe 1 or 2 more minutes before we start the session. This session is being recorded for you. If you have to take note or you want to do something while you're listening, this session is going to be recorded for you, so you don't have to worry. We are going to email the recording back to you, so that's going to be not a problem for us. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Hi, everyone. Great to see you here. It's great. We have Ginger Allen here. She has been a practice liaison marketing for how many years?
13 years.
13 years. She has done amazing work. She was explaining to me how she has just achieved results for practices. I was like, I need you as soon as possible to talk to our network. And I'm glad that you are here, Ginger. Thank you so much for your time. Without further ado, let's dive into our conversation. Then I'm pretty sure a lot more people are going to join. And also they're going to receive the recording of the session. But meanwhile, we can start, so we'll stay on time for the start and finish to respect our attendees that are here already. All right, so I'm going to start by sharing my... Okay, cool. Let me start sharing this. Okay. Again, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Today is Thursday, December the 4th. A few more weeks before we start 2026. I hope you are planning and you are going into 2026 stronger than ever with a lot of plans, a lot of motivations. We are here to help you achieve whatever plans you have. And one of the things that you probably always think about is how to get people around you, the colleagues, the providers, everyone who is relevant to your practice, to refer their patients to you when they really need your skills and expertise. And in my opinion, with my own personal experience, that's hand down the most influential and long-lasting type of marketing that you can do for yourself. Because when you build a referral network situation with a colleague or a group of colleagues in your area, they keep sending you patients and you keep sending them patients because that's best for the patients. So you basically are benefiting each other, and also you're delivering the best care to patient by finding the right provider to send the patient to. So in my personal experience, this has worked so well that I'm never going to ignore this for any of my partners and any person in our network. So the name of the webinar is Physician Referral Networking. I need to go back and forth sometimes to admit new people that join. So physician referral networking, but it really applies to any provider. So we put physician just to make it easy to say, but it's like if you're a PT or a physician or a surgeon or an OBGYN fertility specialist, doesn't matter. It applies to you. You can use the same tactics and it's going to work 100%. If you do it the right way, do it consistently, it's going to work as time goes. So the idea is how to build a local network that drives consistent patient referrals. That's the ultimate goal. So you can grow your practice consistently and confidently. So who am I and why you should listen to me? That this is a good webinar, although Ginger is going to be the leading voice here, but I just bring my credential here. I am the founder of iCareBetter and Massachusetts AI and FemCare Marketing. Each one of them has been an industry hit. You can go search about them. So I know what I'm talking about. I have an MD, MBA, and a master in digital technology. I've grown iCareBetter to over 1,000 patients per day, and I've helped many practices cross $1 million in annual revenue. Many of them started from the ground zero. Some of them were in a couple of 100,000. And I have 7+ year experience in endometriosis and pelvic health, women's pelvic health in general. If you want to meet with me personally and discuss any plan for your growth, you just go to femcaremarketing.com/consult. You can book a free session with me. We can book multiple free sessions. And you can think about, we can talk and discuss about how you can grow your practice. So before we start officially, let's do some housekeeping stuff. Now is 8:05 Eastern time. So we are going to be together maximum 55 more minutes from here. The next 55 minutes, let's focus on your business. And one thing that if you do it the right way, is going to benefit you for the rest of your life. And that's how to build a referral network. The stakes are so high that if I think you put your cell phone aside, don't check your messages or WhatsApp or Instagram, you can do it later. It's fine. But now let's use Ginger's experience and knowledge to really achieve something that is going to be helpful for you for the rest of your career. Close your chat boxes if you're talking with patients, colleagues, if you're checking your EMR, like finalizing some notes. I promise that you will not regret focusing on this session, because you're going to learn things that no one is going to tell you, because no one has this experience that Ginger brings to the table. So please, if you really want to have the most outcome from this session, I would say just keep your focus, like put aside any distraction. So what we do today is discover how referral networking, why they still work, and why most practices are not getting it, why they are doing it wrong. And we also will have a 90-day rotation that you can start adding people to your network to use them as a resource for you and get them to use you as a resource for them. Just imagine you have their patients in your office who needs their services the same way they have your patients in their offices and they need your services. So let's make this match. So make sure they always have you in mind if someone needs your service in their office. And also you have to learn how to do the drop off, what to bring, what to say, and who to talk to, why you should do it, how many times, what frequency. Ginger is going to dive a lot more into this. So without further ado, Ginger, I'm going to pass it to you. Please take over from here. I'm going to go quiet. And
Okay, Saeed, one quick question. Are we going to have a Q&A at the end where people can ask questions? Are you
yes,
doing that in chat? Or are you going to do that? Are you going to let them come on voice?
that's a great question. So we are going to have a Q&A session. Welcome, everyone. Sorry if you have been waiting for a few seconds. We were already in the discussion. It was already a heated conversation. So at the end, we are going to have a Q&A session.
Okay,
But
good.
meanwhile, there is a Q&A. If you on the bottom right, there is like this 3x3 dot. If you click on it, there is a Q&A box, which I'm going to drop here a test question. And I
Okay.
think everyone should be able to see this. But anyway, if you ask questions on the bottom right, so you click on those dots, then there is a Q&A. Click on that Q&A, there is a question box that pops up.
Right.
Send your question over there, and Ginger tries to answer them, or at the end, we are going to answer all of them. And at the end, we are going to have Q&A sessions.
Great.
Ginger, I'll be quiet. I think we are all ears for you. Go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you all for taking the time out of your busy lives to join us here today. We really want to bring you value and show you how you can, help increase referrals into your practice with physician referral marketing. So I'm going to share my screen. I've got a little presentation here. So I will just share this. I'm going to go through the presentation. Can everybody see that okay, Saeed?
Yes,
You can,
it's
okay.
great.
So I'm gonna go through the presentation, and then at the end, I'll probably just ad lib some ideas, additional ideas that are probably gonna come to me. And then we're gonna open it up to you guys to be able to ask specifically for my practice in my area and my situation, how would you do it? So how to build trusted local partnerships that drive consistent patient referrals. I've been doing this for 13 years. I founded a company called Your Medical Liaison. I've created hundreds of successful referral programs for OBGYNs and specialists, calling on primary care practices. I've developed a repeatable framework for predictable, sustainable growth, and I am a trusted advisor to medical practices nationwide. I'm very proud to say after 13 years, I still have a 5-star review, which is not easy to do. So I'm very proud of that. Why physician referral networking still matters. So relationships trump algorithms, right? Digital marketing is powerful and it is essential, but it can't replace the trust built through face-to-face relationships and professional connections. Offline trust drives decisions. Most patient decisions still involve offline trust and peer referrals. Your colleagues' recommendations can carry weight that ads simply cannot reach. Fill the gap that digital can't reach. So physician-to-physician networking reaches decision makers in ways digital marketing never will. Together, digital plus referral equals long-term consistent growth. What you're going to walk away with today we're going to provide you with actionable strategies and proven frameworks to transform your referral network into a consistent source of patient growth. So number one, a 90-day outreach strategy. We're going to talk about that. Learn the exact roadmap for building relationships with local offices systematically and efficiently. Convert offices into loyal referrers. Discover how you turn casual contacts into committed referral partners who consistently send patients your way. The perfect approach formula. Master what to bring, what to say, who to talk to for maximum impact and authentic connection. And then build it or outsource it. So you can do this yourself, or you can outsource it to a company like mine and Saeed's. We have a joint venture program that we help physicians with this if they want us to. So you're going to understand the options, whether to implement the system yourself or partner with experts who can execute it for you. Digital plus referral networking is practice power. These are the 2 pillars of sustainable growth. So digital marketing is going to drive your online visibility. It's going to attract curious patients. It's going to educate at scale. It's going to convert clicks into inquiries. It's going to reach a broad audience. Physician referral networking is going to build local trust, deliver high intent referrals, strengthen reputation in person, convert relationships into patients, and create long lasting partnerships. So real relationships equals reliable referrals. What makes a physician networking work? So your face-to-face beats flyers every time, right? So referral coordinators and office managers don't just trust marketing materials, they trust people. A genuine face-to-face connection creates the foundation for lasting referral relationships. And then, of course, repetition builds recognition. Consistency is key. Regular strategic visits ensure your practice stays top of mind when referral opportunities arise. Familiarity breeds preference and trust. Excuse me 1 second. My dog is demanding to come into the room. I apologize. Okay. And then strategy creates loyalty, right? Random visits won't move the needle. A structured approach with intentional touch points builds the loyalty and the top of mind status that generates consistent patient referrals. Okay, the route that builds the referrals. So your 90-day outreach plan, visit 30 offices a month. Okay, so this is my recommendation for everyone, is to at least be visiting 30 offices a month at a minimum. Okay, and maintain a consistent schedule of office visits to build momentum and establish your presence across the local medical community. You're going to rotate through offices every 90 days. You're going to create a systematic rotation that ensures each office receives regular touch points without overwhelming your schedule or theirs. And you're going to expect at least probably 20 plus consistent referrers with this proven approach. Anticipate at least 20 offices becoming reliable, ongoing sources of patient referrals within your first cycle. And we'll talk about the cycle. So the cycle is usually it takes about a year to get where you're getting 20 offices that are consistently referring you, 10 to 20 referrals a month. Okay. You're going to track your outcomes. So we have a app that we use. It's a GPS tracking app. When we have our reps out in the field, and it's a specialized software that monitors the progress, measures results, and optimizes the route for maximum efficiency and impact. And the perfect drop off. So what to bring and what to say. So, your essential materials are always going to be your referral form, or your information sheet, that makes it easy for the staff and to send patients your way. Branded treats. We never go into an office without a treat, right? Main reason is because, you got to get past the gatekeeper, right? So you got to have cookies or cupcakes, something that everyone remembers the practice. And we always recommend that you put your logo and your website and phone number on that, just a little sticker. And then practice highlights. What do you do differently than the other OBGYN, a mile down the road? Do you guys speak Spanish? Do you have female physicians? Do you, accept all insurance or specific insurances that sometimes are hard or, not a big network for other physicians? Specialized services, convenient hours. You always want to make sure that, you're trying to bring everything that is different from your practice than everybody else's, right? And then always, we're going to ask to speak to the referral coordinator or the office manager. They are the gatekeepers to the referral decisions. And I'll talk about that in a little bit about why that is. And then make it meaningful, right? So when we go out, we're going to build genuine relationships. This is not about dropping off flyers. Okay. I always tell my team, we are not flyer dropper offers. That's just not what we are. We're there to build relationships for our clients. So we're going to ask about the person that we meet with. We're going to build a genuine rapport. We're going to show authentic interest. We're going to ask about the practice, the challenges, how can we support them? And we're going to listen more than we talk. We're going to visit quarterly to maintain the presence and strengthen the relationships. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why we do that as well. But most importantly, consistency demonstrates commitment and keeps your practice top of mind. And then relationships over pitches, right? Skip the rehearsed sales pitch. Nobody cares. Authentic relationships, not scripted presentations, are what generate lasting referral partnerships and patient growth. And so it's pretty easy. Whether you're ready to implement it yourself or you prefer to partner with us, we're going to talk about that. So I'm going to stop the share now and kind of just go into why we do what we do, how we do what we do, and just get the share screen off. Okay. So I started physician referral marketing 13 years ago for a radiology group. And when am I good, Saeed? Am I back in focus
Yes,
here? Okay.
yes. Your screen is off, and we are seeing you, and we are hearing you perfectly fine.
Great. So when I started 13 years ago working with the radiology group, I was in Las Vegas and we were in a very competitive market, and we were one of the smaller radiology groups. So we competed against the big boys and, some of the more tenured radiology groups. And we did really well because we really worked hard at building the relationships. And it's really about getting either, somebody in your office or hiring somebody to go out into your geographic area, right? So I always say, your geographic area is usually going to be within 5 to 10 mile radius of your office, right? Unless you're a neurosurgeon, people might travel an hour for you. But the reality is, if you're a PT or you're an OB or you're just a typical specialist of any kind, you're looking in a 5 to 10 mile radius. That's really about how long patients want to travel for a specialist. So we are going to hit all of the goal is to hit all of the primary care physicians in that 5 to 10 mile geographic radius with your referral form, your brochure, and some treats. And we walk in, it's, we're going to acknowledge the front desk person. We're going to say, hi, my name is Ginger. I'm going to use one of my clients as an example, North Star IR. And, we would love to speak to the referral coordinator. And, is she available? He or she available? And they're going to say, I don't know, let me go check. So they're going to go back and they're going to see if the referral coordinator, they have a referral coordinator. Sometimes it's the MA, sometimes it's the office manager, but usually somebody's going to come back up to the front and say, how can I help you? I would say, hi, I'm Ginger with North Star IR, and I'd like to tell you about our practice. And we make it very short and sweet, right? We're not there to take up a bunch of time. These people are in clinic. And you guys have us coming into your offices. So you know how annoying it is when when us and the pharmaceutical reps, we come in and we take time in the clinic. So we really want to get in and out. This is what we do. Here's some information about us. Do you have any questions? Here is, a treat for you. We would appreciate any referrals you can send our way. And sorry, my dog, she's just demanding attention. It's been a long day. She's like, come on, Mom, you thought you're going to stop working. All right. Are you comfortable now? All right. So yes, so we're going to try to get in to speak to that referral coordinator or that office manager, tell them a little bit about us. And we're going to say, our physician would be, love to meet your physician. If you guys would be open to it, I'd love to bring the physician by one day. The number one way that physicians will get business from other physicians is by going and meeting the physicians. And so we call them ride-alongs, where we actually have you go with us. And the reason why I recommend that you go with a marketing person or one of your staff as opposed to just doing it yourself, 2 reasons. Number one, physicians by nature tend to be a little bit shy and not super on the social side when it comes to that kind of marketing stuff. I know you guys are all relating to that. And number 2, it looks a little bit more professional and a little bit more less desperate if somebody is presenting you. So, hi, I'm Ginger. I'm with Dr. Smith today. Is Dr. Brown available? Professional courtesy, we have a 95% success rate with professional courtesy, where the physician is going to come out and at least meet you for 30 seconds and say hello. Okay. So those are ride-alongs. If we don't have a physician with us, we are not going to meet with the physician. Not going to happen. We are going to meet with the referral coordinator or the office manager. And to be honest with you, the majority of referrals in a practice are going to be dictated by that referral coordinator, that office manager, or the MA. Why? Well, you guys know the answer. You're too busy, right, to be dictating where everybody's going to go. You have a short list or a blacklist of people that you do not want to refer to. But then, you're pretty much, when it comes to, insurance networks and stuff like that, as long as it fits within the network, you're going to be pretty open to them referring out. But I always tell people too that, especially for you specialists, it's very difficult for a primary care physician to refer to a specialist that they've never met, right? They might pull Google and they might pull 3 or 4, names out of the hat because they don't know what else to do. But for them to say, I want you to go see Dr. Brown, having never met you, is probably not going to happen. So this is why the ride-alongs are really, really key in getting you out to meet people. And I tell my doctors, go out once a month, block clinic for a couple of hours and go out once a month and do this. You can see usually probably 5 to 8 offices once a month, and you will be surprised. I started with a general surgeon about a year and a half ago. And we just pulled the 2020, well, we're almost done with 2025, but we pulled the numbers like in October. And she had 120 different referring offices that have referred to her in the last year and a half, 120 different offices. I'm gonna, excuse me one second. Saeed, hold the fort for me for a second. I'm gonna get rid of my dog.
Okay, no
Okay,
worries. I
you're
think
being too loud.
one important aspect of what we are discussing about here is, so some of the people here try to specialize, like for example, you want to be only doing like endometriosis surgery, or you only want to do pelvic pain, or you only want to do pain, or you want to focus on one aspect of OBGYN, some are fertility. So I think this is extremely important, because this type of focus is easier to build loyalty around. Let's say the primary cares or like the naturopaths, whatever relevant provider in your region that you think are serving your patients, they actually want you to be on top of their mind. Like they want to hear your name, they want to know who you are. So they say, go just meet this doctor for your endometriosis, or for your complex infertility problems, or for your complex pelvic pain, or for your complex pain in general related to whatever women's problem they might have. So that's why, like, it's actually really good that for our community, which are mostly subspecialized or very specific in women's pelvic pain or pain, it's easier for them to build a loyal referral, because then that doctor says, go to this doctor because he knows or she knows how to take care of you. Take it from here, Ginger, please.
Yeah, and the thing I would like to say when, I always tell my docs, you don't have to be best friends with these doctors. You don't have to play golf with them every weekend, but you have to at least shake their hand and give them your cell number and say, hey, I love to take care of your patients. If you ever have any questions, just text me. That goes so far into getting physicians comfortable with sending all of their referrals to you. And so if we're not working with the physician, you're not doing ride-alongs, we're just out doing the work, you're still going to get the business, because somebody's information is better than nobody's information, right? And we used to joke in radiology that the person that got the MRI that day was the person whose referral pad and cookies was on the top of the pack, right? It's all about top of mind, right? Oh, I need somebody that specializes in pelvic pain. Oh yeah, they were just here last week. I've got somebody for you, right? So it's all about being top of mind, staying top of mind. So that's why we talk about the 90-day revisits, right? I always tell my clients, you can't just go to an office once and expect that they're going to start referring to you. That is not a relationship, number one. It's not building the know, like, and trust factor, number two. And it really takes you on a consistent basis, knowing that, hey, Dr. Brown is definitely, committed to, working with us and wanting to get our referrals. So much so I jokingly often say, they're like, we need to send this, this doctor some referrals because they're never going to leave us alone. Right. So we don't want to be annoying, like going every month, but once a quarter for sure. So what we do, we typically do over 6 months. We typically do what I call a blitz, right? So for the first 6 months, we're going to see 30 offices a month. And then at the end of 6 months, you've got 180 offices that you've visited, right? Then you're going to be looking at your EMR report every month. You're going to be pulling your report. If you work with us, you're going to send us the report. We're going to cross-reference that report, and we're going to say, hey, out of these 30 offices we visited last month, we got these many referrals. We got referrals from these practices. We don't track the number of referrals. We tried to do that for my vascular surgeon one year, and it was like 14,000 referrals. I'm like, okay, we're not tracking referrals. We will track the offices. So we will track the offices that are referring based on the offices that we visit. But that's very important for you to know your ROI so that you see that you're really, getting good ROI on the investment in this type of marketing. But I will tell you that my vascular surgery group is one of my largest groups. I started with him with 3 surgeons. He's now got 10, and we account for about 40% of their practice. And they're contracted with all the hospitals in Las Vegas. So 60% of their practice is obviously all the hospital work that they do and then their own relationships that they've built. But 40% of the business we have documented is coming from the work that we do for them. So it definitely works, whether you go out with us or you don't go out with us. But if you're a new practice, brand new and just starting out and nobody knows you, it is critical that you get in the car. And again, you don't have to talk a lot. You're just going to be introduced by the person you're with. You're going to say, hi, this is what I do. I would appreciate any referrals you have. Here's my cell phone number. Simple, right? The other reason why we recommend that you go every 90 days is because the turnover in medical offices. As we all know, turnover is very high, especially for those referral coordinator, MA type positions. They're always leaving for an extra couple bucks. So it's a very high turnover position. So we might have established a relationship with Lisa 90 days ago, but when we went back, now it's Michelle. So we want to make sure that we are consistently every 90 days going and visiting these offices. Now, at the end of 6 months, if you've got a list of 20 doctors that have referred to you, okay, it is critical that you move them to a separate route, which is what I call the thank you route. That route is where we're going back and thanking them for their referrals. Because what I tell my docs is we don't want to go back and pitch them again about what we do. They already know us. They're already referring to us, right? But we certainly do want to go back and thank them for all the referrals that they've given us. And it's really, really important that we do that because, again, there are other specialists that are vying for that business. And if we're not showing appreciation on a regular basis, and I say you need to see those referring offices about once a quarter, at least. And just to, retention is, I think, almost more important than new business, right? Because if you get an office that's sending you 20 to 50 patients a month, you don't want to lose that and then have to start over with somebody, brand new that's going to send you 1 or 2 or 3 referrals a month, right? So then we have 2 routes. Once we hit that 6-month mark, you then have 2 routes. So you've got the thank you route, which is the route where you're thanking them for the referrals. And then you've got your new, targets that have never referred. After, I say about a year, if we've seen them, call it twice in a year or 3 times in a year, and they've never referred us a single patient, they're probably never going to. We're just going to take them off the route, right? They've probably got a relationship with another OBGYN or another, pelvic specialist. And we're just never going to get that business. And you're never going to get all the business. That's the reality of the business. But there's no point keep wasting our time going back to these offices that have clearly made it very clear they're never going to refer to us. What else can I tell you? Saeid, do you have any questions there? Let me go to the question thing. And see
Yes, there is a question. Before you get into that question, I just wanted to say, obviously, as you can see, Ginger has nailed this thing down, like to the point that who is going to be checked up. These are like new to me too. Just a quick story from my personal experience that we launched a practice in Central Coast, California, and we did maybe 20% of what Ginger is describing here, 20%, like in number, in the amounts that we did. And within 8 weeks, we had already the practice have like booked 20% of its capacity, and it was a cash practice. 2 months later, we had to stop accepting new patients, and I personally just completely gave my share to my partner. But I had the phone number because I needed the phone number. It was my business phone number. And that phone number still gets called by referrers and patients who have been referred to. And I just did like 10 or 20% of what Ginger says. Yeah. So the point here is a lot of physicians hate, not just physicians, a lot of providers hate like marketing. They have this visceral reaction to it that they don't like, but they really like networking. And if you are really growing your practice, this strategy just is like hands down the best strategy, the most organic and the most, like if you think about it, the most beneficial to patients also. Like you are providing solutions to patients. So I just wanted to add
Yes,
this.
yes.
Uh,
And I will make a caveat too, because I am working with a doctor in Kansas City. And so to answer Carla's question, no, Carla, I work with doctors all over the United States. So I've got doctors all over, the providers, NPs, all different types, all over the United States. So we either will, in Vegas and in Florida, we actually have our own reps. And then in other markets, we actually help the physician hire their rep, or we use somebody internally from the team and we train them, kind of a done with you type of program. But of course you can do this yourself. You can hire this person, and I'll talk a little bit about that. So yeah, if you're a brand new physician, so I'll give you an example. So I have a physician that started a practice in Kansas, and she's really struggling with her practice. She bought a bunch of equipment, and they promised her that all of this equipment was going to bring in all these patients. Well, we all know equipment doesn't bring in patients, right? You got to have the patients first, and then you can sell the equipment products. So she was really in a bad place, and I told her, I said, Ray, I said, you're in such a bad place. I said, my recommendation would be is just take your business card and just go introduce yourself to everybody in your local complex, if you will, like where her office was located. And she's like, oh, and I said, you got to do it. Like, you're really in a really bad situation, and I'm trying to help you get out of it, but you got to help me help you. And she did it. And she called me like a week later, and she's like, I never believe what happened. And I was like, what? She's like, I got a referral from one of the people, in my block, nothing to do with medical, but they just happened to know somebody that needed help with hormones. And so they sent them my way. And she's like, and I feel like now I know everybody in my community and they really know what I do. And why didn't I think of doing that, Ginger? And I said, because you're a physician, right? You didn't go to school for marketing. You didn't go to school to learn how to grow a business. You went to school for a long time to be a physician. So don't beat yourself up, right? So going back to doing it yourself. So you could do it yourself. And if you're really in, that financial situation that you have to just do it yourself, then you do it yourself. You go into those primary care doctors and you say, hi, I'm Dr. Brown. I just opened a practice down the street. I specialize in pelvic pain. I just want to drop my card so that I'm here. It's not maybe as comfortable as when you're with a rep that's introducing you. But listen, if you don't have the funds to afford this type of marketing, then you do what you got to do until you get the funds, and then you can hire somebody to go out and do the work, right? But as far as having people in the do it themselves, I always ask my physicians, especially the ones that are just slow or just starting out or the practice is really struggling, do you have any MAs sitting around not doing much? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, okay. Are any of them like really friendly and personable and happy-go-lucky? Oh yeah, I got one girl. She's really like that. I go, let's get her out, right? Instead of paying her to sit there for 8 hours and do nothing, let's get her out, taking out the brochures. She might not be a professional medical marketer. It's okay. She's just going out and telling everybody in town what it is that you do. Here's our referral form. Here's our brochure. Here's some cookies. We would love your referrals. It's really that simple. And, I know Saeid talked about it in the beginning. And people often ask me like, who are your most successful doctors? And I always say my most successful doctors are the ones that have been with me the longest. And that's a true story because they've been consistent. Dr. Lou in Las Vegas, one of my best case studies, again, I actually started with him when he was with another group, and then he left that group and he started his own group. And I started with him with 3 physicians, and he now has 10 physicians, and he's always hiring more. I'm like, I just printed the brochure. Can you please not hire somebody this month? So he's just growing leaps and bounds. And it is having a growth mindset, right? This type of marketing is not for you if you're getting ready to retire. Yes, you need to have a presence. You probably need to do your digital marketing with Saeid, but this is probably, this is for the growth mindset practice. Somebody that really wants to grow their referral base, wants to add on other clinicians, and wants to get consistent referrals monthly. I think that's it, Saeid, unless I missed anything. I know it was a lot shorter than I talk really fast. I'm a marketing person. I can't help myself. I would like to tell everybody a little bit, about me personally. Not only have I been doing physician marketing for 13 years, but I'm also the president of the Florida Medical Association Alliance, which is the Spouses of Physicians organization. We're a philanthropic organization. I'm a big advocate of organized medicine. I'm a big advocate of, the AMA, the county societies, the state societies. These can be tremendous resources for you to get referrals as well. So it's not just going out to other offices, but being a part of your society is super important. And I'm also married to a physician. My husband's a radiologist. So, I don't just, do this for a living. I am part of the family of medicine, and I know how hard this business is. This is not, it's not easy to be a provider. Maybe 50 years ago it was, but today it's really tough. Especially to get to that next level.
Amazing, Ginger. Thank you so much.
Sure.
And, at the beginning, I told you, turn off the distractions, the chat boxes, the EMRs, the cell phones, put them away, because it's going to be...
You forgot to mention put away the dogs.
Oh, yeah. That one thing.
And I'm going to add that one to the next webinar checklist. Make sure to put away your dogs.
Right. But so now in 33 minutes or 34 minutes that Ginger talked, really, it was something that I personally was never trained in medical school or residency. I'm pretty sure a lot of people here who have been trained to be providers, practitioners, physicians, or residents, attendings, physical therapists, they were never trained to how to build a professional network. So I am confident, I'm almost 100% sure that some people here have learned things that they have never been taught, and this is going to influence their practice for the rest of their life. Speaking of, let's take one baby step, not think about the rest of the life. Now that we went through what Ginger had to say, I'm pretty sure she can talk about every single situation for hours, because we have spoken for this for hours, and she always has new things to say. But right now, at the end of Ginger's presentation, let's take a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Write down 3 things that you want to do because of this webinar, okay? You might do it or not, right? It's okay. But at least for once, you're sitting and thinking how you want to do something related to growth of your practice, in the sense of like building a referral network. I'll be quiet for a few seconds. Just write down, like in your cell phone or your laptop, a piece of paper, write down, I'm going to go out tomorrow, meet with this doctor. I'm going to print out my business card. I'm going to talk to my MA about how to go out and talk. Something like that. Simple baby steps. Just write down what you want to do, 3 action items because of today's webinars. And this is for you. This is for your practice, okay? I'll be quiet for the next few seconds just to give you some space to think about. Okay. So now, if you want help with the practice liaison or practice referral networking, I would suggest Ginger's program. Ginger, how can people reach out to you?
They can just go to my website, which is ymlteam.com, and book a free consult with me to make sure that we're a fit and see, if you need somebody, thank you. If you need somebody in-house, if you want to do it outsourced to somebody like me. I'm working with it's North Star IR. I think they're in Minnesota right now. And I started with their internal team. He brought me in to train his internal team. They've had record number of referrals for the last 2 months in a row. And I have that as a case study. And we've only been working together 6 months. Like they were doing like 20 or 30 referrals a month. This last month, they did 72 referrals. And these guys are specialists. So these are big numbers when they get these kind of referrals. I would also add one thing I forgot to mention is it's not just primary care guys. I always ask my providers, what other specialists would refer to you, right? Because, if you're doing pelvic pain, right? I mean, it's not just, it could be other It could be other OBGYNs that don't do that. It could be gastro people that would refer to you. It could be, I'm trying to think of, pelvic pain and, pain doctors, right? It could be other doctors that are getting these patients that are coming to them saying, I have pelvic pain. I don't know what to do. And the pain doctor is like, well, I don't do endometrial, right? So, and every physician knows what other specialties can refer to them. So just don't forget about the other specialists that can potentially refer. Is there anything I recommend on a referral form? I'm a pelvic health occupational therapist and specialize in pelvic pain, nervous system regulation, and gut health and gut healing. Yeah, so your referral form really should be targeted to the other physician, right? So the types of things that they're going to, be used to referring. So, for an OBGYN, right, we're going to have, all the typical stuff that a primary care, forget about pregnancy, but all the other stuff that you would potentially refer to an OBGYN for would be on that list. So for you, if you're doing, pelvic therapy, it might just be, your referral form might just be pelvic therapy. That might be the one thing that you do, and that actually is a huge need for that for women my age, like huge, right? I mean, you could be going out to all the OBGYNs, all the primary care. You could target so many practices with pelvic therapy because they don't do it. And we need it, right? I mean, I need it. So it's a really, and we've got a lot of women, in this, that need this service right now. So, you could just have that on your referral. And I've got sample referral forms too, that I could share with you guys, no charge. Again, Saeed and I really, we want to bring value. We want to bring you guys, if you want to do this yourself, we want to support you in being able to do it yourself. And then when you can afford our services and you can get that monkey off your back, then we can take over for you.
Okay, awesome. Can they go to your website, which is, I put it here, ymlteam.com, and book maybe a free session? Do you offer like a free initial, like one free, just to figure out if they are good candidates for you to work with?
Absolutely. And even if they want to do it themselves and they're just not sure how to do it, I will, give them that guidance for free as well. And again, it's very specialized, right? Because each practice is very unique. Their location is unique. Their contracts are unique. What types of insurance they take. Some are cash pay practices. So it really is very dependent on what type of practice you have. But in a 1 hour meeting, I can pretty much give you the roadmap, how you would, help yourself for your specific practice in your specific location. And
thank you so much for your generosity. So everyone here, don't overthink it, or if you don't know where to start, just go to the email, to the link that I shared here, book a session with Ginger, just talk things through. You don't have to buy anything or pay her for any services. That's basically, you can just book that time, learn about the process, learn about your practice, and she will tell you what the next step is. And she's a very big advocate for DIY. So you see that.
I am. And, I really care about physician families, and I know how hard it is for physicians right now. And so, if it works for you, and, like for the guy in Minnesota that's doing the IR practice, I'm just consulting for him, right? I teach, I train, I oversee, I make sure his team has my cell phone number. So they text me, and they, when they have problems or they run into, issues. So I'm available to his team. But yeah, so we do consulting too. So, basically we kind of try to do whatever we can to help docs, build their practices.
Okay, awesome work. All right, so I'm gonna just present a few more slides, then give some space to people to think about maybe more questions or something. So if you need any help with the local networking, referral networking, I personally have an amazing experience doing it. Highly, if you do nothing, if you don't want to pay for any marketing, digital marketing, website marketing, okay, I understand that. But spend your time or spend your team's time on this local referral network. Guaranteed you are going to get some results if you do it consistently and you do it the right way. And if you can't, you don't have the bandwidth, you don't have the team, Ginger is here to help. And if you need help with other stuff, for example, if you need help with other digital marketing, I just want to introduce our team. We have launched FemCare Marketing, is a spin-out of iCareBetter to support our providers, which are mostly super specialized, high quality providers, but they have this visibility challenge always because they have to stand out from like not 30,000 or even more providers to make their expertise matter to patients. So we offer more services now, more marketing. If you want ethical, high impact marketing, anything in digital like website, social media ads, we're happy to help. You want to do your SEO, we are happy to help. And if you need that help, we can offer you a free assessment of your current status. That's also for free. We just give you a full assessment. What's the best part of your strategy? What's the worst part? And you can focus on what you can improve in your practice. So we do analysis of the visibility, keywords, and your general online availability. And you will learn where to put your focus for improvements. If that makes sense and that helps, go to femcaremarketing.com/consult. You can book an appointment with us. And with that, thank you so much. We're going to stay a few more minutes, just hang out with Ginger. I'm going to ask her a couple of questions. But if you have questions, just drop them in the question box on the bottom right. So if you click on those dots, the thing comes up, the window comes up, then click on Q&A. Ask a question, any question, just drop them off. So Ginger, I have one question. So the one question was, what would be on the form? Let's say, for example, especially in our network, most people are super specialized. Let's say pelvic health, so they basically have a bag of pamphlets and business cards. We focus on women's pelvic pain, and you go visit all the OBGYN. So you don't have to write like pelvic pain or like pelvic health, headache, neck pain. So there is no reason to offer all those things, right? If you are
Right.
focused on one thing, just put that one thing on the form, go out and make all the networking. Is that what you're saying? I think that was what I understood at least.
Yeah, I think it's having the specific, so if you're doing, give me an example of one of the procedures that your guys do that a typical OBGYN wouldn't do. Give me an example.
Let's say, like, for example, like because we talked about pelvic pain, one specific procedure to pelvic pain, let's say excision of endometriosis. Like there is one surgery, you excise endometriosis out.
Okay. So that would be, that would be something that you would put on the form, right? You would put all of the things that you specialize in, and then they could just check off. Yeah, that's what I want to refer my patient for that specific issue.
Or another thing for pelvic pain, for example, which is important, like for example, I can imagine a lot of our patients have pudendal neuralgia. For example, that's a disease. That's a medical problem that people.
It could be the, Mm-hmm. I'm going to bring up, let's see, one of my referral forms, just so you guys
that
can
would be
all
great.
see
If
it.
you can share that.
I'm just going to bring up my neurologist because it's the first one that came up here. Let's go to the referral form.
Meanwhile, if you have any questions, guys, just drop them in the Q&A, and we're going to answer the questions as long as we have Ginger here.
Yes, thank you.
Of course.
All
Thank
right.
you so much for your time.
Of course, it's my pleasure to help. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just share my screen again real quick. Okay. So he's actually doing, go to, let me see if this is, nope, that's not the right one. See if this is the referral form. I've got it open on my thing. Oh, let me close this. Okay. Share screen. Here we go. Can you see this referral form? Oh, nope. You're seeing the
email. Yeah.
You're seeing the email. Why is the PDF not coming up?
I think you should maybe you share the entire screen unless it's
okay. Maybe you're right. You're right. Here we go. Thank you, Saeid.
no worries.
Okay, so this is a neurologist, guys. So it's not specific to your industry, but again, it gives you kind of an idea. So, right, he's going to ask, now he does, personal injury and he does insurance, but you're going to basically get who is being referred by, right? I like to ask the name of the office or the physician, the patient information, the insurance, and then he has what he wants to know, and he's listing the symptoms, right? He wants to know if they're having seizures, if they're having headaches. So this is specifically to neuropathy. Have they had a stroke? So anything that's going to be specific to your industry. So for the lady that asked about the therapy for the pelvic therapy, do you have incontinence, right? Do you have, I don't know all the things that therapy, I know incontinence is one of them. So, right, incontinence would be one of the things on your referral form. So you can do it just based on, the offerings that you have, or you can base it on the symptoms that the patient has. Okay. And then he's got, his insurance is accepted on the back of the form. I don't recommend doing this anymore. This is old school. I recommend putting your insurance list on your website. That way, as insurance panels close or you go on new ones or you get off of them, you just go into your website and have Saeed go into your website. It takes 2 seconds to put a new one or take one off, because once you print these referral forms, they're printed, you've paid for them. And if you change one insurance thing, then you got to reprint the whole thing. So it's kind of silly. So that is outdated. He's very old school, this guy. And one thing I will tell you too is, if you're going to go out with referral forms, sometimes they'll get referral pads, which have 20 to a pad. My team is trained that you ask, do you scan into the EMR? Because if they say, yes, we're going to scan the referral form into the EMR, do not give them the whole pad. Now, some people will say, no, our doctor's old school. He likes paper. Okay. I still don't give them a whole pad. I give them 10. I give them like 10, and and then they'll let you know too, though. We have offices call our doctors like, hey, we need more referral forms, right? Because we got these docs that are still using paper. But yeah. So yeah, I would think for the pelvic lady, probably the symptoms that are related to the therapy that you provide would be what would trigger the most benefit. I was also going to look at North Star IR and see if I have theirs handy, because they're interventional radiology.
While you're looking that, let me share a personal experience. I went to this dentist. She's a great dentist, but one of my teeth needed a specialized root canal cleanup, which she didn't provide because it needs a residency training. And she actually gave me one of the very similar form to what you just showed me. And it was great. I really thought like, oh my God, it's like you are the best doctor. Already having a referral for me. And I called that office. I booked an appointment. They were very respectful. They did my job. And I didn't have to look on Google to find who is the best doctor and read the reviews and call their offices and say what my doctor said. It was already a done deal for me. Like, okay, go to this doctor. I know what to tell them. And they knew me before I even got there. So
right, here's another simple referral form, just to give you guys another idea. Like we really need, it's keeping it simple is better, right? I think here's my vein guys, right, out in Vegas. They do veins, they do carotid disease, they do peripheral artery disease and aneurysms. That's it, right? So I mean, they just do veins. So if your business is very simple and you offer one specific procedure, that's okay. Even better. Then the doctors know exactly who to refer to you, right?
Awesome. That was great. All right. Any other question? We have 4 more minutes, but we don't have to use all of it. You can go.
And I'm going to recommend one more thing before everybody leaves. So a lot of times doctors will say to me, well, what kind of brochure do I need? And I always say, again, keep it simple. Do a rack card, which is a 4x9 rack card, the simple one that goes in the stand. And on the front, you put, a little bit about you and the practice. And on the back, a list of all of the, procedures that you do or all the symptoms that you treat, and your contact information. Super simple. My vascular guys wanted this trifold brochure. They spent a bunch of money on it. I'm like, guys, it's beautiful. Nobody's going to read it, but it's okay. That's what they wanted, right? So if you want the fancy brochure, you can get it, but it's not necessary.
Okay. So for the last thing of the session, I'm going to quickly show Ginger's website. So that's her website. You go ymlteam.com, and book a
Which
free
is short for
consult.
Your Medical Liaison, because nobody can spell liaison, including myself. Like, why did I pick that name? Because I was thinking physician liaison, kind of rhymed. But anyway, thanks again for taking the time to be with us, guys and gals, and we are here for you. Saeed and I are, as you know, Saeed is a physician himself. We're really passionate about helping physicians build their practices and grow their practices. Whether you hire us or not, or hire somebody else, we're still here for you. We do care.
Yes.
And that's why I connected with Saeed, because when we met, I was like, you really care. And then I didn't even know he was an MD. That didn't come out until recently. I'm like, oh, you're an MD. No wonder you care.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you, guys.
You are great. And thank you everyone for being here. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.